Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're looking at a demo or some sort of a trial preview version of a game called Katabasis. This is a somewhat strange exploratory journey through the Russian wilderness with, I believe, your son. And we're going to be experiencing some pretty odd and possibly creepy things as psychological damage starts to build up. And we journey towards something potentially pretty creepy or frightening. I'm not sure exactly, but I do know that this was based at least loosely upon the Dyatlov Pass incident, which, if you don't know about that one, I'm going to read you this little passage from Skeptoid.com. It's a pretty freaky thing. I think it's been mostly debunked at this point, but this happened quite a while ago. Anyway, let me just briefly read this to you. I think you're going to be happy you knew well, maybe not happy, but you'll at least be thankful to know the background for this, because it's a pretty weird story. So, February 1959, the Ural Mountains in Russia, 10 young cross-country skiers from the Ural Polytechnical Institute, 8 guys and 2 girls led by Igor Dyatlov, set out for 2 weeks of adventure. One became ill and turned back. Little did he know he would be the only one to return alive. Weeks later, searchers found one of the most bizarre scenes in modern lore. The bodies of the 9 victims were scattered over a wide area of the frozen landscape. Some were wearing only their underwear, some were wearing each other's clothes, 2 had head injuries, 1 had no tongue, 2 had severe chest injuries, internal chest injuries, I think they said broken ribs. None had any visible external signs of trauma. Some of their clothes were found to be radioactive. Circumstances suggested that some of the victims may have been blind. Various other witnesses in the region reported bizarre orange spheres in the night sky, and strangest of all, the bodies had orange skin and gray hair. Alright, just process what I just said there. This is a real story, and all of that stuff somehow, I don't know whether it came to be after the fact, some of these things changed and sort of tainted the evidence, or I don't know what, but this is apparently what was reported. It goes on a little further. This was the Soviet Union in the middle of the Cold War, and few details other than what I have just gave were reported. Journalists attempting to give more information found their books and articles censored. Independent investigators found official records to be missing or classified. Many fingers have pointed at military testing. Did radioactivity from some secret weapons test drive the group insane? Some people think UFOs are responsible for their deaths, citing the reports from other skiers in the region who saw the orange spheres in the night sky in the direction of the Dyatlov party. Russian authorities closed the case, called the cause of death a compelling unknown force, that's the quote, and classified it top secret. The mountain was renamed Dyatlov Pass, and that's about all that anyone's ever been able to learn about the case. So, that's going to set us up for this, and hopefully through all of that you've read the text on the screen. So let's check it out. What do we have in store for us in Katabasis? Is it going to be horrifying? Is it going to be relatively benign? Well, we know one thing, it's for educational use only. What on earth could cause their hair to go gray and their skin to turn orange and then become radioactive? I don't know. They were speculating maybe it has something to do with the lanterns, but then they said later that the lanterns didn't have radioactive elements in them until far later. I don't know. It's really weird, man. So, here we are. Hopefully the same thing isn't going to happen to us. And I'm sorry to spook you out with such a creepy, I don't know, something like a ghost story, even though it's not exactly a ghost story, because those are fake. Let's look around, see what we have. So, campsite, fire, cold child, stream. Looks like those rocks from Zelda over there that you can put a bomb next to and they give you advice. Pretty heavy noise filter. I feel like I can pass some judgment on people who put noise filters in their games. They usually want to creep you out. Seems to be fairly consistent. I don't seem to be able to interact with anything here. I can zoom in with my right mouse click. After that, though, not much. There's a swan on my paddle on my canoe. And aside from jumping and zooming in my mouse, I can also run with shift. It seems that these are just becoming the standard Unity controls for games. I'm just sort of getting a feel for that. So we're camping. What else? Maybe I should just wander off into the woods, right? Seems legit. There's a very light, or a bright source of light emitting from over that hill, which seems to be casting quite the rays off into the environment. I guess we're not bringing the kid with us. Might be for the best. Seems to be quite a bit of fog settling around the ground over here. I don't know if I need to brace myself if something like absolutely horrifying is going to happen, or if we're just going to walk around for a while. This is a marker that looks like an eye watching the man and the child. So, if you haven't started feeling creeped out yet, now would be a good moment to start. Some pretty creepy looking totems or idols or whatnot positioned all around here. They look like they're doing a pretty good job of watching. Quite nice texture work on this wood, actually. I always wonder, like, when these people make these Unity games, are they creating all these textures themselves? Or is there some sort of a texture repository where people are pulling these things from, these resources and assets? It's a very monolithic rock over here. What's going on with it? Anything? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so now, being the nice dad that I am, I guess I want to probably save my kid's life. I'm almost going to guarantee that when we get back over to that fire, the kid's going to be gone. And what do you know? I swear to you, I did not play this before. There is a, looks like an eye with blood spattered on it, on a rock, on the ground where the kid used to be. Alright. I don't know how creepy it is at this point. I definitely could tell that was coming, but still want to take a look around. I'm not sure what my relationship is to water in this game. Oh, I have none. Water is simply disallowed from my... Oh, no, it's not. Just over there water was. That's always an important thing to establish early on when you play a game. What is your relationship to water? Is it death sentence? Is it totally fun, great times, water park, jet ski, I don't know what, but no, in this case, some sort of a middle ground it looks like. Pardon my insane free association when I thought of water there, I'm not sure what that was about. You know, the first time I heard that story about the Dyatlov Pass incident, it definitely freaked me out a lot. And it probably is a pretty good way to make this seem much creepier. If you haven't read that story before, I imagine that would definitely be a bit unsettling coming into something like this. Could be kind of fun to read ghost stories with you guys on YouTube. I wonder if that would be a fun thing to do for everybody else concerned. I had found this, I don't know what site it was. It might have just been something on, like, Something Awful. There were just all these ghost stories, and some of them, I don't even know which ones were ghost stories and which ones were just, like, I don't know, old wives' tales that have gotten blown out of proportion and, like, exaggerated and all that. The pop-in on the scenery is actually kind of freaking me out a little bit. As you notice, the trees are totally shifting. But yeah, there were a few stories in that were, like, absolutely horrifying. And I'm a bit of a skeptic when it comes to this stuff. Like, I really like to hear proof of things, but sometimes a story, it's just set up just right. And it can really, really mess with your head. I don't want to spoil it too much, but the one of the ones that did that to the utmost, aside from the one I just described, which when I read it from the source that I originally read it from, I think it was written way better. It was much creepier. But one of the other ones was there was a story about a woman. I think that basically the end result was she ended up climbing into a stove and cooking herself. And that one did just like the illogical nature of it was absolutely like the pinnacle of horror to me. Where the hell am I going? Is there a place somewhere over here that I haven't... Did I just miss this entirely? I think I did. Alright, well, I'm sorry I just wandered around for no reason for far too long. But it did give me a chance to talk about horror stories. I'm always interested in really good storytelling, and sometimes just absolutely scaring the crap out of you is one way to convey a particularly entertaining story. Did something just move over there? I thought I saw something move off in the distance. I may be wrong. But yeah, when I say I'm skeptical, like, I definitely do put that pretty high on the priority list when it comes to reading things like this, but I am also aware that sometimes it's a lot more fun to just go along for the ride instead of trying to nitpick everything. So, while I am aware that they have at least tried to debunk the story I mentioned previously, the Dyatlov Pass incident, I didn't actually go into much detail looking into it, because I'm pretty sure there are reasonable, rational explanations for what happened that do not involve extraterrestrials, which I'm not sure I even believe exist. I don't know. I'm sure the conspiracy theorists out there have plenty to say on that. I don't. I feel like I might have seen a couple things in the sky before that confused me, but I think that's probably all it was I was just confused. It's really difficult to judge spatial recognition when you're looking up at a sky that's as massive as it is, with so little reference. And, UFO just means unidentified flying object, and something can be unidentified but still natural. Is that my kid's hand? Seriously? What are they doing? Is this... Are they cutting him up and putting him on rocks? That's really kind of rude. I didn't ask for that. What are these crazy roots on the ground? They look like zucchinis or something. Like... No, okay, maybe just that one does. That's not what a zucchini looks like, I know that. It looks more like a sweet potato, but like super long. I don't know. It's like super crazy randomized talking here. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. It's talking about sweet potatoes on the ground, apparently. So what is over here? It looks like my flashlight is getting dim as always. So we're following the slender path, it seems. Nice long walk to let the scary stuff build up. I know that I just turned back. I just wanted to see if this was like a dead-end cubbyhole type of thing. Does not look like it. There is actually some wind, which is good. Gotta get some wind so it looks like there's stuff happening in the world. I definitely think that the pop-in is one of the creepier things going on here. Can't seem to get up on that hill, it looks like, most likely. Unless there's a path up here. Yeah, your ability to jump off up cliffs is also an important thing to establish early on. Aside from our experience with water, knowing what your thresholds are for navigating your environment, since that changes on a per-game basis, it's good to get that out of the way. I was kind of hoping we'd be headed more towards that unidentified light source. Uh-oh. So we're doing some storytelling right now. Alright, I don't know where to start here, so... We've got... I'm gonna call him Elkman, who looks to be staring down at the reflection on a lake, or this is a divide in the physical realm to the ethereal realm, and I'm seeing... looks like to be a female form on the other side. I don't know how literal or figurative I'm supposed to be taking this. The female has given birth to a baby who is being watched. The Elkman says, praise the sun. And Lady Elkman says, praise the moon. I don't know. I'm making that part up. And in the end, Elkman and Elk Lady are happy together. That's probably not how the story's gonna end. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just guessing. Unless I just write it completely out of sequence and we're supposed to start here. Which, probably makes more sense. I don't know, we read from that side to that side, so it seemed like it should go the other way. But yeah, I mean, looking at this, they start out happy, their paths cross, they have a baby, then they're split. One dies, one lives, something like that. That is a horrible looking tree. I'm pretty sure if I was able to, like if I was a giant and I could uproot that tree, I could kill demons with that thing. This flashlight is borderline useless sometimes. I don't know, who decided that flashlights in horror games always need to flicker and go out? I mean, I know it's just a trope when it comes to being scary, but I've had a few flashlights in my life, like probably more than 20, maybe more than that. I can't really think of maybe any times when I've been in a precarious situation and the flashlight has just gone out. There's a pretty long lead, like a winding down time from when the batteries are not doing so good to when the flashlight completely gives out and you're stuck in pitch blackness. I know they're just being creepy though, so I can't really fault them too much. So it mentioned something about signs in the woods. I kind of figured they were like big freaking honkin' arrow signs pointing us in different directions. I'm glad that they're a little bit more subtle and creepy. I have to admit, one movie that absolutely scared the crap out of me at the end, and I know this is a lot of years ago, I was much younger, but Blair Witch Project, and I know that's a little bit of a cliche thing to say. Something made a sound. It's okay, I'm not that worried about it. Almost the whole movie didn't bother me, but the only thing that really got to me was the very, very, very end. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. The absolutely unknown force, the dude standing in the corner. I've watched people talk about this before, but like I think that the real essence of what's scary is things that don't make sense, like things that are contextually confusing or abstract, things that don't belong where they are, that you can't make a reference to, you can't understand how to even approach. Those are the things, for me, that really mess me up. And they at least get into my head more than most other things. But yeah, something like that where you don't actually know what it is, that like what's even going to happen to you. The guy was just standing in a corner. Everybody was like crying and screaming and whimpering, and the camera's just jerking around. Nobody can tell exactly what's going on. But that guy is standing in the corner and everybody's about to die, and they don't know what the hell is going on at all. They were wandering around in the woods in the dark for like 3 days or something. They find this little cabin or this house. They wander down in the basement, I have no idea why, and that is the place they needed to keep that witch, or whatever it is. In fact, when I try to think about it and put like a plausible explanation to what was down there, thinking about it being a witch makes it way less scary. Just having it being a nebulous, like, abstract, obtuse force definitely leaves the mind to wander into uncharted territory. See that rock for a second? I thought it was like a giant worm coming out of the ground, and for a second it was actually pretty creepy, but now that it's a rock again, not so scary. These little towers of rocks, they have a name. Everybody always builds these things whenever they go hiking, or whenever they're near a lake. I don't know what the point is. I guess they bring you peace and solitude, or some great thing like that. Tranquility. I don't know, they're freaking rocks. Some are smaller than others, you put them on top of each other. Why does that matter? I'm sorry. That's the skeptic part of me showing. Yeah, I'm kind of a cynical jerk sometimes, but that's just how I am. Sorry. Doesn't come up as much with indie games. I'm actually pretty excited about all of that stuff. So I just think I backtracked here. I'm not sure where I'm going, actually. I'm a little bit lost now. I think I found the right way to go. This seems to be... What the hell was that? The shape and color of that didn't make sense to me because I only caught it out of my peripheral vision because I wasn't expecting there to be anything up above me. So, granted, I know you guys probably got a good look at it. I did not. I only got to see it just slightly. And I don't know what it was. It didn't make sense to me. So, you know, like I said, your mind can play tricks on you. If you don't see something the way it should be seen in proper lighting with, you know, proper everything around it. Okay, so now that I've talked about Blair Witch, we find a freaking cabin. I just noticed. Alright, if you guys noticed, okay, so there's a light source behind me. I'm holding a flashlight. Look at the ground, though. See that shadow? Just kind of took me out of my element here. That's my flashlight hovering in the air. I'm not expecting people in Unity necessarily to model the character you're controlling, but it would be a nice touch. How far down this can I go before I, like, fall off to my death or something? I'm not sure I'm supposed to be up here, actually. See, now it would really freak me the crap out is if there were, like, all kinds of unknown, mysterious demon bodies walking around down there or something that I couldn't quite make out with my light. Like, they're just out of reach, and if I go down there, they're not there. Make them move around really strangely, too. That would really do well. I don't think people put enough stock in, like, just making something look weird in a way that just is unconventional. Like, they often think that things need to be graphic or violent. They don't often just make them look unexpected. Which is kind of why I like the Hellraiser movies, although they did both approaches, obviously. But those Cenobites, like, they were so strange and just grotesque and well realized and detailed. I'm not sure if I'm getting closer or further from my destination. Maybe I should be staying over on this end. Seems to be plenty of extra room to explore here. What was that? Did I just hear a sound? It might have been breathing, or I might have just imagined it. I am wearing headphones, so there is that. Okay, so here's where we're getting into the points where I'm probably going to get pretty creeped out. Walking into buildings like this is like a setup like you can't believe. I'm going to look up, I'm going to see something like hanging, or there's going to be something standing in a corner. Really? That's what you're going to do to scare me? Make a stick breaking sound? Probably just walked over a freaking trigger tag on the middle of one of these polygons. Start some kind of scripted event. See, I'm not the type of person that's going to very quickly run into one of these rooms without investigating things to the best of my ability first. So as far as I know, we're looking for our son who is now potentially missing his hand. At least. There was also some blood on that original stone. This one, this room in here is not looking so good. There seems to be some digging on the floor. This one's freaking me out. I don't really want to go in this one very much. I know one of these corners is going to be a problem because it's just exactly out of your eyesight. Like, I'm always consciously keeping that in mind when I'm looking around stuff. What can't I see when I'm putting myself into a position? Like, what are my blind spots? There's no way that I'm going to be able to explore all of these buildings without there being a single thing in them. And there is a chair. Scripted event probably coming soon. Not sure which direction I should be looking in for it, though, if there is going to be one. Sorry I'm taking so long. I don't know, I'm feeling kind of on edge right now. Chair's facing the wall. That fact alone, definitely creepy. So you can psych yourself out too, like telling those stories at the beginning and talking about all this stuff and then reminiscing about movies that scared me. It starts to put you into a headspace. Uh-oh. You're gonna have a Resident Evil 4 moment here? Maybe not. Yeah, it puts you into a headspace that you just start to drift a little bit out of reality and into things that are illogical and crazy and scary. How is this gonna end, man? I'm kind of on... said this like a dozen times, but I'm feeling on edge about it. Pass through a gate of 2 more of those They must seem like gnomes, but actually they're Norse, I believe, in origin, that shape. Okay, we've got 2 more signet-type stones over here, which are going to show us something. Those really creepy, fleshy, fat rivulets of tendony-looking root are not pleasing me either. Alright, so there I am, I presume. There are the dudes beating my son with rolling pins. There I am, and there is someone pulling someone else's head off, I guess. That is a creepy image. And the person in the middle has all the eyes. There's an album by the Red Chord, which is a crazy technical metal band, called Pray for Eyes. And it was a story, I guess, about a prisoner who was just chanting to himself to pray for eyes. And something about the way that those words go together, like to pray for them, pray for eyes. Or was it P-R-E-Y? I don't remember. But either way, it's actually pretty creepy. Pray for eyes as in hunting, or praying for them, either one. Alright, what is this? A monolith soaked in blood with a thunderbolt cloud? Or brain? Or I don't know. I don't like it though. What's going on with it? Can I see through it? Oh yeah, it's carved all the way through and there's like green crap smeared all over. Is this fresh blood? Dried blood? It looks kind of reddish orange, kind of dried up iron. Yeah, I don't know, it might be old. Not like I should be able to necessarily intuit that from the details in a game, but I'm trying to use my detective skills here. Don't you guys just hate the taste of blood? Like, have you ever gotten a bloody nose or something? Absolutely horrible taste. I'd almost prefer getting, like, the dental taste in your mouth from, like, when they do fillings or something. I'd almost rather have that than blood. Stick breaking, okay. Yeah, this is a very personal episode of Indie Impressions. We're going into all sorts of details that I never expected to be going into. I do want to seem to play this all the way through, because I have a feeling we're probably getting close to some sort of a climax here. Getting progressively more and more psyched out. I've said so many times in the past how games don't really scare me. Really depends, I guess, what kind of mood I'm in. What is going on in that cliff? Is that something standing there? I can't really figure out what the shape is of it, and it seems to be moving. And this tree is just shaking like mad. Oh, it's some kind of dog. Okay. I'm not so scared of dogs. When it was just facing the flashlight, it was much creepier. I've fought several dozen dogs. Actually many more than several dozen in my various jaunts through horror games. Probably the Silent Hill series alone, I've probably fought over 100 dogs. If you include Skags as dogs, I've probably killed 10,000 of them. I think you get achievements for that. Or, not achievements, but, you know, those in-game little recognition points. What do we have over here for a story? Alright, Elkman is getting stabbed by his kid. That sucks. Twice. I don't know what to make of that. It doesn't seem to bode well for potentially me. I don't know. Sort of thinking about the pacing. The dog is back. What's going on with its face? Seems to be doing a lot of flickering. Yeah, the pacing of this game, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it somewhere in between? It seems like they put enough crazy weird crap in there to keep you guessing, but I might want it to be a little bit faster. There's some kind of tendrils coming off of its face, which are legit pretty creepy. If I could go around this thing... Was this the same thing I was seeing? Where's it going? It's going over there. To this crazy temple where we're undoubtedly going to summon some sort of ancient evil. Yeah, was that dog the thing that I saw out of the corner of my eye? It probably was, which is actually really disappointing, because the figure that I thought I saw out of the corner of my eye seems way scarier than that thing. What's that? Alright, I thought that was a snake man or something, like standing up. I think it's some sort of like... Oh, it's that sign, that symbol that I was saying was the sun before. I don't really feel like I want to commit myself to going in there yet, but I can actually look around pretty well. I can even go up on this little stick here, this log, and get a little bit of jump action in. It looks like I can go in from the back. I feel like I'm playing some sort of like first-person Diablo 2 moment right now. Fight 30,000 zombies or something. At least when I'm playing Diablo, I have swords. Here I have freaking flashlight only. Oh no, really? You are not gonna make me go in there. Alright, I'm not especially claustrophobic, but just knowing that I have such restricted movement when I might need to run away from something or dodge something, that definitely gets to me a little bit. I say I'm not claustrophobic, but I mean like to a point. There, of course, if I'm getting like crushed by stuff, I'm gonna get pretty claustrophobic at that point. I do like this shadow, it's pretty nice. It would almost be too simple to just have there be some horrible thing standing in the center of this. So what is that? We've got a black smudge, which I don't know how you create that sort of a black thing. It's like ink. And then we've got our eye in the center, smeared with blood, and then we've got what I was calling our moon at the bottom. To complete the reflection, that one is still not done, so maybe I can rush and hurry and save him or something. I don't know, I think once the kid's already without his hand, things are not looking good. I mean, clearly if they were willing to cut his hand off and use it in a path to lead me somewhere, it means I am becoming nothing more than a cog in their bigger puzzle that I have no idea of. So I am utterly powerless. I mean, I can't even pick up a stick or a rock to hit something with. Okay, I gotta go in there. I hate to do it. It's like the frickin' giant vault chamber or something with this huge rock in front of it. Is this where they put Jesus? Oh crap, it went black. For educational use only, for educational use only. Okay, this is actually apparently going to keep going. Of course, as is always the case, whenever you walk through a doorway with a rock like that, it closes behind you. Like, have you seriously never played any first-person games before? It's called progress gating. Lets them, get more polygons drawn on and, you know, cull the old ones. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Seriously? Why? Why would there be some sort of a monk with blood smeared all over his face? What is even going on here? Why would you put that there? They're hollow, too. It's way creepier that they're hollow. I thought there was actually like a face carved down in there. Alright, so maybe these aren't just roots, actually. What the hell's down there? Oh, nothing. I guess they're obscured by themselves. Got all these little bits hanging out on the edges. This is a very large place. Is this some sort of Viking hall? Not sure if this is the right way to be going. Oh man, these roots are everywhere and they're getting bigger. Also, always a good idea if you're making a horror game, if you can, have dynamic shadows. The more dynamic they are, the better. This is probably not the best for dynamic, but I do remember probably one of the most really just off-putting, creepy things about Silent Hill 2. And I played it on the PS2 originally. I know it had the superior version on Xbox, but I never had that version. But yeah, that was the shadows being dynamic and being cast all over everything, and then you'd find the creepy straitjacket leg creepy crawler dudes. That freaked me out for sure. Alright, now I'm getting like Prometheus vibes. I feel like I'm gonna run into a hologram at any moment, and then a door is gonna shut. Scope of this building is quite massive. So if this is supposed to be a demo, I feel like I'm getting more of a legit game out of it than I am most full games. Pretty impressed. That is a very oppressive looking structure right there, architecturally. Very imposing. It's got the eyes crossed out with what looks like almost like a moaning open mouth. It's amazing the human anatomy features that people can subconsciously read into looking at architecture. It's definitely something to keep in mind if you're trying to really screw somebody up in the head. Alright, the sense of space here is really imposing. Like, the amount of room there is with how much you can see, they did a really good job on that. Despite having a flashlight, it felt like the shadows were almost starting to eat into me. Which, another example of that was done exquisitely well, the Tomb of the Giants. What is that? Is that the Elkman? Yeah, Tomb of the Giants from Dark Souls. If you've played it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It is absolutely pitch black to the point where it actually suffocates light out of existence. Oh, good. He's got a kiddie pool to stand in, apparently. And we've got some awesome, super awesome tentacles here bursting out. Now I'm starting to wonder if we're wandering into the cabin in the woods or something. Because, of course, why not? Let's go down further. It can only get better, right? What is down here? I don't even know. Oh, man. Untangible rewards. Alright, so we've got a very long, restricted passage, which I cannot actually climb through. And it looks like I'm seeing my son down there at the end, and there's like lettuce in the other room or something. I don't know what that's about. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that easy to get him, though. Seriously, what is that? Oh, it's a tree. It's a very pristine-looking tree. And he's gone. Nope. Guess I've played games before. I know how this works. What are you doing over here? That's the lady and the boy. Alright, so the lady's come back to take her son back away from Elkman. And I am aware that I'm just absolutely, like, making a mockery of probably some legit mythology here that I'm just not grasping because I didn't do research on it first. If that's the case and you know this stuff, then I apologize. I'm not trying to offend anybody or make light of it. I just don't know better, that's all. Pretty freaky eyes on that thing. And I am pretty interested in this mythology, so yeah, feel free to leave me information in the comments or message me or email me or whatever. I always enjoy talking about this kind of thing. I'm very into psychology and religion and stuff, as well as indie games and music, of course. Not that I'm trying to make this episode that personal, but you know, we've already gone in all these other directions, why not, right? I'm starting to feel a little bit lost. I feel like I've gone in circles now, maybe. I guess I'm coming up back into the main room. If this is still the same area? Kind of hard to tell. That is a very strange floor texture. Oh no, it's actually just rock. Alright, I feel like I probably shouldn't have come up this way. You know what, I'm actually starting to think maybe I should just wrap this up at this point. I know this is like an incredibly sad cliffhanger, but at the same time, this episode's been going for a pretty long time. And it would be kind of cool if I could get you guys to try this yourself instead of just watching my video of it. As much as I would love to continue talking It is kind of always good to go out on a cliffhanger in a way. You know, keep the suspense up, and then you guys can reflect on all the things that I've said and all the stories that I've told you throughout this little journey. And then we can all find out the epic conclusion together through the comments, or, you know, probably not through the comments, because then you'll be spoiling it for people who haven't played it, and we don't want to do that. But you know what I mean, we can, you know, kind of find it all together on our own time, your own little worlds. So, Katabasis is pretty freaking cool. Definitely well done. Definitely good value for your dollar, considering free. Can never really complain when the game is free, unless it's just a waste of time, and this is definitely not that. I should have just gone this way, shouldn't I have? Well... Oh, this just came... Okay, I thought I was going to have to go up, but I didn't do it before. Yeah, I did see this path, but I figured out I should probably go down, because, you know, the bad things always happen down instead of up. I have a feeling that's probably... I don't know, there's probably not a lot left to see, but still, I had a good time with it. I'm probably just going to, when I cut this, I'm just going to go see what happens at the end. So I hope that you guys will follow all the links and go check this out yourselves, as long as this demo is still available. I believe it will be. So that was Katabasis. I definitely recommend it. And as always, remember to head on over to the website, www.indie-impressions.com. Check out all the old episodes, check out some of the new episodes, anything you've missed. And feel free to check out the forums as well. You know, leave some comments, meet some cool people, check out some cool indie games. It's all there. Do some searching through stuff. And then, of course, when you're done with that, feel free to head on over to the Facebook page, facebook.com/indieimpressions. When you're there, if you want to leave a like on that page, it will actually make every day's videos show up in your Facebook feed. Might be useful, you know, if you'd rather have a little hit of indie goodness come right to you instead of you having to come to me, whatever's more convenient for you. And lastly, if you have any comments, suggestions, criticisms, or if you want to suggest another game for the show that I haven't covered yet, feel free to do that at my Twitter, which is at RockLeeSmile, and if you want to just see whenever I upload a new video, at IndieImpression will do that for you. I just realized that actually looks like a symbol from Zelda. I'm not sure which Zelda, I think probably Twilight Princess, but yeah. Won't go off on that tangent. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you come back again tomorrow. I do a new one every single day. I doubt it'll be one as creepy as this, but I will do my best to find something awesome, because I always try. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Have a lovely night, guys. And try not to think about all of these creepy stories when you're trying to go to sleep tonight, okay? Later.